Hello, my friends. Welcome to our Friday YouTube Live here on YouTube. My name is Sarah McGuire from Sassy Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today's card is this one. It is super simple, but super cute. I think this would make a great card. It's pretty feminine, but I think it'd make a great birthday card for that special lady in your life. And I don't know, my ribbon's doing some funky things here. But you could also switch out this sentiment to be whatever you wanted it to be. So if you needed a sympathy card, I think this would work. A thank you card, whatever you need it for. We're going to get to our card in just a second, but right now we have a couple of businessy things to take care of. Hello, Christy. The first is our giveaway from last week. So last week I showed you this beautiful country gingham 6x6 designer series paper. So the one side is mint macaron and balmy blue, and then the other side is sweet sorbet and petal pink. And all you had to do was leave a comment on last week's live, and the winner of that is Savannah Burning. And I'm hoping I'm saying your name right, but Savannah, you have won this paper pack. I will send it out to you. Just send an email to sassypapercrafts@gmail.com with your address, and I will send this right out to you. So this week's giveaway, sorry, I have my sweater on. I am freezing. But this week's giveaway is, if you saw Monday's video, if not, it is linked in the description of this video. I made a, I think, pretty cool guy card. So this week I am giving away the He's the Man designer series paper sampler. Now, I feel like I'm not going to take all of them out because I don't want to lose them, but there are some like the pre-cut die cuts in here. But this is that paper, and it is just so masculine and so great for guy cards. And like I said, you get a sampler of it. You're only getting 5 sheets of the 6x6 paper because one of the sheets is the die cuts, but I put a little sampling of the die cuts in there. So if you would like to win this, all you have to do is leave a comment on this video, and I will pick a winner next week. I'm trying to get it back in there without smushing those die cuts. There we go. The other thing I want to talk about is Celebration. Celebration is going on now until February 28th, and it is your chance to earn free products. So for every $50 and $100 you spend, you get to pick free Celebration products. In addition to what I give you when you use my host code, everyone that uses this host code, I can't speak today, sorry. Everybody who uses this host code will get 4 free card tutorials using the Country Floral Lane Suite that I used last week. And if you spend $50 or more, you're going to get a brand new, not a nasty, gunked up one like I have, phone folder from me, in addition to Celebration products. But if you were thinking about purchasing during Celebration, I've also broke down what you'll save if I can click it. There we go. How much you save by joining my team. So for options 1 and 2, you get the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You only pay $129. You save $135.18. Let me show you that again because it's awesome. Option 3, which does not include the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, is $99. You save $95.25, and you get to pick the product. So you can pick anything from the annual catalog, from the mini catalog, and you get free shipping on your starter kit. You get a free paper pumpkin. It's just a really good deal, and it's one of the best I've ever seen Stampin' Up! Do. So there is a link in the description of this video if you would like to get the $175 worth of product and either the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for $129 or without for $99. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at sassypapercrafts@gmail.com. I would love to answer your questions. Susan says, awesome, I love Stampin' Up! Products. Me too. They're literally the best. I've used a ton. I exclusively use Stampin' Up! Now because they're so great. So for this card, we're going to be using the Cottage Rose Cling Stamp Set. Now this is a bundle that comes with dies. When you purchase the bundle, you do save 10% I'm only using the stamp set today. I wanted to make a card that is simple. If you're a beginner, I don't want to overwhelm you with a ton of products. There is a resource. If you click the first link in the description of this video, it shows you literally every product I've used. And it's so minimal. Like, you don't have to buy a lot to make something beautiful. And you can even switch out the colors. If you, I use Highland Heather. It's my favorite Stampin' Up! Color. You could use polished pink. You could use Tahitian Tide, whatever colors you like. So here is the stamp set. You get 10 red rubber stamps in here. We're going to be using this big guy here, this little one here, and then the happy birthday here. So we're only using 3 stamps out of the set, but this is a great set too for beginners because there are so many different sentiments. You can make a get well card with this. It's just a really great stamp set. I love it. I didn't include on the resource, the little document there, the little page that has the supplies, I didn't include clear blocks. But if you are just starting out, you've never stamped before, you will need clear blocks. They do come in a bundle, which I love the bundle because you get all the sizes of the blocks. My personal recommendation is to at least have an E block because most of our stamps fit on the E block. I have an E block here, a D block, and then I'm going to use an H block for the sentiment. We're going to start, and we're only using 1 ink color. Like I said, you can use whatever color you want, anything you already have. I'm using Highland Heather. Let me move my stamp set out of the way. And we're going to start with a piece of Highland Heather that is cut to 5 1/4 by 4. And we're going to use this big guy here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up my stamp, and I'm not smashing my stamp into the ink. I'm just tapping, making sure I get it covered. Now with bigger stamps like this, you can even take your ink pad to the stamp and do it that way. Just, it's easier. Sometimes this can get kind of heavy, and sometimes my hands don't work and things get heavy really quickly. I don't know if I'm getting like pre-arthritis or what's going on. But so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp right on my cardstock. And we're just going to do this several times. And what I'm going to do is as I'm stamping, I'm just going to turn it a little bit. So I'm going to go even upside down with this one and come in that way and stamp. And it's okay, these are kind of close together. It's okay if they overlap though a little bit. We are going to be having some opportunities to hide things. So if you make a mistake here or there's something you don't like, don't just throw this away. I'll show you that we can fix it. So I'm just turning this a little bit. My E block is a little bit foggy, so I'm having some trouble kind of seeing through it. Normally they're not this foggy. I have had these blocks though for at least 10 years. I've had them a very long time. So mine's getting a little foggy. Stamp down here. And then I have a little bit of space up here. All I'm going to do is take the leaf part and just ink that up. And I'm just going to go into the side with the leaves. You might have to turn your cards. These little flowery parts here, ink those up and go into the side there. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm done with the big stamp. I'm going to move this to the side. Now this is my card base. I also didn't list this in the supplies. This is thick basic white. You can use regular basic white as a card base. The thick though is just sturdier. It stands up better. I like it, but if you're trying to save money or you don't want to have a ton of products at your house or in your craft room, you can just get the regular basic white and use that as a card base. So this is cut to 4 1/4 by 11. It's scored at 5 1/2. I'm just going to ink up this little stamp the same way, just tapping. And we're just going to open it up here. I'm just going to stamp in that bottom right corner. And that's it for that. So the next part of stamping is I have this little piece of basic white that I cut. And let me see. I do have my notes. I just covered them up. So this is 2 3/4. Nope, that's not right. It's 2 inches by 2 3/4. I wrote that was 3/4. I'm like, that's not right at all. It's 2 inches. What did I say it was? 2 inches by 2 3/4. Yes, 2 by 2 3/4. So I'm just going to take this little guy here again, and we're going to stamp here ink it up one more time, and we're going to come in to the top like that. And then I have this piece that is, I'm just going to measure them, 2 3/4 by 3/4. This is the one that is 2 3/4 by 3/4. So I'm going to ink up my sentiment here and stamp right in the center. I seem to be frozen on my iPad or my tablet here. I hope I'm not actually frozen. That turned out a little bit crooked, so I'm going to turn this over because the great thing about paper is it has two sides. So I'm going to try that again. I think my sentiment is on there a little bit crooked, so, or my sticker. There, that one's a lot better. So we're going to use that one. Now I'm done stamping. That is it for stamping. Yeah, I hope I'm not frozen because my thing here is frozen. So if you're commenting, I can't see those either because everything is frozen. I'm using my Stampin' Mist onto my Stampin' Scrub. This just cleans my stamps. A little couple sprays on the wet side, and then you rub your stamp on the dry side, and it's all clean and ready to go. This is my favorite way to clean my stamps. We also have the Simply Chamois, which does the same thing. It's this little purple sponge-like thing, and you just get it wet and you wipe your stamps off, and it's good to go. Christy says, you're good. It's still working. Okay, great. Because I can see your comments, so that's good too. I just can't see what I'm doing, but hey, technology. Am I right? So I'm just going to put my stamps away because I like to put them away as soon as I'm done using them. Otherwise, I lose them. It's a thing. Throw that over there. And now we can just assemble our card. So I have a little piece of Highland Heather that is 1/4 inch bigger. So that is, that's not right either. I didn't write that down. Man, you guys, I did not take good notes. 3 inches by 1 inch. So it's 1/4 inch bigger than that one. And then I have a piece of Smoky Slate that is 3 inches by 2 1/4. So the reason I do that is just because I like to have a little bit of a border around my layer. So I'm just taking a little bit of seal. You can use whatever adhesive you prefer. I prefer Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to stick that to that one. Stick our sentiment to the Highland Heather. And then I was trying to do a little something different with the ribbon. So I'm going to try it again. I don't know. We're going to take the metallic mesh ribbon, and this ribbon is really cool. This came out, I think, in the July to December mini catalog, and it was kind of with a Halloween sweep. I just think it's so elegant and pretty. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half like this, and I'm going to cut it about here. And I'm kind of going a little at an angle. You don't need a ton. And this is just from a product share I was a part of, so I don't have much left. When you get the rolls of ribbon, I swear I have pins that I've had for literal years because they give you so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sentiment, I'm going to add a little bit of seal to the back of this, and I'm just going to fold this and just kind of play with it a little bit and fold it over. I'm going to tie a little knot. I should have did this before I cut it. I'm going to tie a little knot in it so that it stays. I kind of want it towards the center. I'm just tying a little knot. Don't worry if it's not pretty because we're going to hide that knot anyway. And I'm going to stick the knot to that seal. So it just kind of pops out of the corners like that. I kind of want to open that up a little bit. You can finagle it. You can play with it. That looks good. So now I'm going to take a few Stampin' Dimensionals. And Stampin' Dimensionals is my second favorite adhesive. They add a little bit of lift to your layers. They're really inexpensive. You get 300 of them for, I think it's $4.25. So they're really inexpensive, an inexpensive way to add interest to your project. So before I put this down, I'm just going to do like this and kind of eyeball it and put that in the center. Now I did notice on my other card and on this one a little bit. This kind of pops up a little bit because of that knot. I'm okay with that. I think it's still a cute little card. So then I'm just going to take some seal, run it along the back of that. And this is the part where if you had any mistakes, like say I really was unhappy with that, I could cover it up. I'm okay with it though. So I'm just going to cover up some of this blank spot down here. But if you had a mistake where you stamped too hard or did something small and it's that size, you can just put this right over it. And then I'm going to add seal to the back of this. And we can stick it to our card base and add our little bling. Susan says, I love dimensionals. I am never without them. Girl, me either. They are my favorite. Like, I think I probably add them to every order. They are my favorite. I'm just going to center that right on there. And then for some bling, because we got to have bling, I'm using the Iridescent Pearls Basic Jewels. The embellishment Stampin' Up! Has is also a really inexpensive way to add like dazzle and just, I love bling. I do. Embellishments are my favorite. If I had to pick one thing to use from Stampin' Up! For the rest of my life, it would be embellishments. So there's 2 sizes of these. There might be 3, but I only have 2. So I'm just going to kind of randomly sprinkle 3 of these around. And now the tool I'm using is called the Take Your Pick tool. This has removable little ends. It's a really handy little tool. I also didn't add this to the supply list because this is completely optional. It's just something I like to have. I love the putty end for picking up stuff, especially like the sequins or little pieces. But I digress. This is today's card. So if you enjoyed this card, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I go live every Friday right here at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So whatever time you're seeing this right now, this is the time I go live on Fridays. I also upload videos every Monday. So if you enjoyed what you see and you'd like to see more, please subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Christy says, great card, Sarah. Thank you, Christy. Susan said, such a pretty card. I love the glimmer, the gems ad. Yes, isn't it? Just a really simple way to make that card pop. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next week. Have a great weekend.